building. I'm gonna probably only be on here like 15 minutes. I'm doing my reset, and it's time for me to go. But I want to give y'all some because I was not able to give y'all some yesterday. So I'm just setting my clock so I know when I hit the 15-minute mark, I'm out of here. All right. But so to recap this past weekend, we all know Colorado feels deflated right now. Actually, I think these 2 weeks is good that we get these 2 weeks. I'm gonna tell you why. Now, since we won't have Colorado football this weekend, when you don't have something, you start to long for it. That's how when you break up with your ex, you start thinking about them or whatever because you're not used to their presence not being there, and once it's not there, it's a void for a second. So a lot of people were saying, "Man, damn Colorado, I ain't watching Colorado no more. I ain't staying up late watching Colorado." But now y'all know what's gonna happen. Some recruit stuff is gonna come out. Some buzz is gonna go. Coach Prime is a master at creating buzz. He's gonna do some stuff to create a buzz, and now we're gonna get engaged again. He's gonna try to do something to get it hype again for we'll want to watch Colorado. I mean, I'm still on Colorado because I want to see can they have a winning record and what kind of bowl game they can go to. But this is one thing I noticed this weekend. So Coach Prime, old school JSU, they had the same record as Colorado. Both of them are 4-3. So this is gonna be interesting. Look, but it's like two new coaches. Both of them are 4-3. So this is if you got a good coach and you 4-3 your first year, that's not bad. Understand that. Jackson State, they're in a good position. Now the only thing that I kind of see a little different. Oh, I'm gonna throw another person in here. Eddie George. Eddie George, I think Eddie George is 4-2. I don't know how the hell Eddie George 4-2 because I mean they should have been playing more games than that. But Eddie George, he behind the ball with their games. Maybe he already had his bye week already. Um, I feel like Eddie George, and I don't know if y'all been hearing this, but Eddie George is kind of getting a little upset because the fan base is not coming out to his school, to the games and all that kind of stuff. And they play in a good stadium. I don't know if they play in the Tennessee Titan Stadium, but they play in a nice stadium. So, and it's a large stadium, so they don't fill it up. And if you play in a big stadium and you don't fill it up, it kind of look like it just kind of take a little spirit out of your players, especially when you're trying to bring in recruits. And that was the big thing about Jackson and with Coach Prime at Colorado, he was having sellout crowds. So when you got sellout crowds and you bring in top recruits, they looking at the atmosphere and they like, oh, this junk live here, boy. I get to play in front of all these people every week. Oh, this is crazy. So Eddie George is kind of mad because the people not coming out. But remember, Eddie George is different from Coach Prime. He didn't want to do the videos. He don't want to be loud. He want to be quiet. So when you quiet, people don't pay attention to you. You got to stand up on. No, they say it's the quiet ones to watch, and they the most dangerous ones in the room. But if you got a person standing up on the chair yelling and with a gun in the air, you finna pay attention to the loud motherfucker. Like that's how it's gonna happen. The loud, they said the squeaky wheel gets the oil. So you have to make some noise, not just game day. You can't just talk with your pads. You got to talk with your mouth. You got to make a presence. You got to make people believe in you. And when Coach Prime, if y'all remember the first year at Jackson, he had an okay record, but he was doing a little something. Then the next year, when the sun came, and he had 2 or 3 more guys that was like 4 stars to come. So now, okay, oh shoot, we got some 4 stars. We got some big time people coming to play for our school. So that created a buzz, right? Then he backed it up with winning. Like he won a winning streak. So he won swag. So the second year, Coach Prime, he won the swag. You can't get no higher than that in that conference, right? Eddie George has not won anything yet. His first season, I think he was like 6-5 or something like that. His second season, he had a losing season. So this is his first time that he might have a winning season. And we're not even talking about winning the conference. So he already a year behind what Prime was doing, and he don't show anything. He don't show the improvements. And Tennessee State was actually doing good as a college all around. They was going after the government for some money that they was owed. I think they was gonna get like 300 million. They was really owed like 5. Now they trying to say it's almost like $1 billion. But they went to court about it, and the judge said something about, well, y'all got a lot of people enrolling in your school. Y'all should be happy about that, and how are y'all doing this? And like, and the lady, she started laughing. She was like, our school is popular. People want to come here. So with Eddie George doing what he's doing with the program, their school was already growing before their football team was good. This year actually pumped that program up. And if Eddie George, a key thing about Eddie George is different between Coach Prime and Eddie George. Eddie George already stayed there. I remember he said this. I didn't like when he said it. It was a sour taste in my mouth when he said it. But he was just like, I already stay here. Only thing I got to do is roll out of the bed. I don't have to move. I don't have to move my family. I just got to roll out of the bed and go to practice. I like, roll out of the bed? What? But if you think about that, Eddie George is already in his, I think, late 40s or early 50s. He's settled. He's going to stay in Tennessee. So it's going to be hard pressed for somebody, and he's already a millionaire. So it's going to be hard pressed for somebody to make him want to move. So he might stay there and coach for like 10 years. I don't think his desire is to really be a coach, but I think he's starting to have passion and he has his own goals. He's a goal-driven person. He won the Heisman. So I feel like he's going to have his goals set. And once guys like that get locked in, they're going to complete the task, or they're going to try to complete the task. So he might be there for a 10-year run. And for a college like that that's on the rise, if Eddie George stayed there for 10 years and they had like 6 good seasons, that'll be a big win for them. And nobody can't just come steal him away. That'll be a big win. I want to see what man talking about. His defense though. Who defense? Eddie George? Oh, I want to see all folks. The man at Deion for leaving. That's right now. But see, Eddie George is not putting videos out. Like, okay, I saw Eddie George. They beat Kennesaw State. The reason why I saw that is because I know 2 freshmen that just started going there. And they was talking about how they don't like going to the Kennesaw State games because they went to FAMU and they went to Spelman and all these other places. And they were like, the campus atmosphere is so much lively. Kennesaw State, it ain't the same, right? I'm like, okay, y'all just played against a black school, or HBCU. Y'all didn't even go to the game. And they were like, what? What? I'm like, see, y'all ain't even looking at y'all's schedule. Y'all just played against the HBCU. Eddie George just came. They beat y'all for homecoming. Homecoming game, they didn't even go. And see, and this was important. Y'all know most time doing homecoming, you schedule a team you think you can beat. Kennesaw State, they scheduled Tennessee State, TSU, and they won. They spoiled their homecoming. Kind of like the same thing Coach Prime did when he got scheduled homecoming against Alabama State. He was like, you don't schedule me for homecoming. That's the last thing you want to do. So Eddie George is starting to win, but Eddie George is not talking big. That was 2 weeks ago. He done came back and won another game after that. We ain't seen nothing about Eddie George talking about how he got his boys going. We ain't heard nothing about no recruits. He been there for 3 years. I don't know who on that team. So you gotta, Eddie, if that's not your personality, you have to hire you a hype man. You have to hire a guy that loves doing videos. A person like myself, I ain't throwing no shots for me to get. I got other stuff I gotta do. But you gotta hire somebody that wants to do video, that wants to put out content, that understands what message you're trying to get out. And because Eddie is not a big rah-rah guy. He's a man of few words, like they say. So he needs somebody that's going to be his hype man. You need, like Tony Yayo, that was 50 Cent hype man. He need that. Coach Prime is his own band. He's his own hype man. Like Coach Prime said, nobody came to see him play ball when he was little. He didn't need nobody hand claps. He gonna do what he feel like he gotta do, and that's how he do his thing. But he realized he was not up into all this YouTubing and putting out videos. He got his son to start doing it. So you have to use the people that are around you to grow your brand. And Eddie George has a good brand. He's running the ball Right now, running backs are not valued. You see right now at Colorado, we got a bunch of running backs. They can't get the ball. Eddie George can say, look, they throwing the ball everywhere. Y'all wanna score touchdowns and run the ball, play some old school football, come play with me. You wanna get 1,000 yards, come play with me. He can start saying some of that, but he ain't doing it. Eddie George probably could get a 4-star running back and some big beefy linemen that love to run block if he put that message out there. You hear what Coach Prime saying? I ain't hard to find. I ain't hard to find. And that's another thing I want to talk about too. I'm gonna do a video talking about Colorado finna get the black experience. Y'all 99% white, but y'all about to get the black experience because I'm seeing how news sites, recruiting sites, and all that kind of stuff. They trying not to say good stuff about Colorado. They trying not to put out the real information. They behind 3-4 weeks, a month when guys are already committed to Colorado. Like they dropping their stars down. It's a lot of that stuff. So we're gonna get into that because I want the white folks in Colorado to understand, the people that say it ain't no racist tone or whatever in America no more, blah blah blah, for they can start seeing it and feeling the effects of how, by Coach Prime being y'all head coach and by him being successful, how y'all gonna start getting shafted on certain things. You don't pick up on the lingo unless you used to listening to it and hearing the little side comments and stuff that they make. But other stuff I want to talk about. I heard a guy say this the other day. He was like, the NFL is changing. It's a passing league, right? And he was like, we're not seeing these long touchdown bombs and stuff because the pass rushers are getting so good in the NFL. Almost every team got 2 good pass rushers now. It's crazy. I'm talking about elite pass rushers, right? This is why Colorado can't close games out. This is why Colorado can't win, because they could not get a pass rush going against Stanford. I watched USC while they lost to Notre Dame. Notre Dame was pushing them linemen all into Caleb Williams' face. Like they had him under duress the whole night. When we played against USC, he had time. He was sitting in the pocket. He could have ate a bowl of cereal back there, man. This dude just sitting back there chilling. It wasn't like he had to run for his life like Shedeur is running for his life. So hats off to Shedeur for still being able to be the leading passer in the nation and getting hit that much. Even though y'all throwing the ball every play, you're still leading the nation. And I looked at those numbers. It's kind of crazy. It's crazy. I'm gonna break down those numbers too, like later on the week. We got time. We got to buy. So I got a lot of stuff I'm gonna break down and bring to y'all attention. But the big thing the guy was saying in the NFL, if you don't have the time to throw the ball downfield, you got to dink and dank and take what they're gonna give you. And when you do have time, you can go up top and you can really hurt people with the deep ball. And that's kind of like what's going on with Colorado. They can't get no pass rush on. So even if you got good DBs, it's going to be hard to cover for that long because you got time to sit and wait until you got to get open. And it's until we get good defense linemen, Colorado will struggle, but they are on the way. I promise y'all. I already know. I already seen some of the guys that saying they done committed. These some big dudes. These some good, healthy, strong back, lumberjack looking guys. You know what I'm saying? And they can move. So it's next year, like Prime said, y'all better get me now, cause he know what he got coming. And I've seen some of these guys that's coming. They some big old boys. They them kind of them Dallas Cowboy kind of D linemen, big boys. So that's gonna change. I know that's gonna change next year, but I'm still upset with they were saying. I didn't agree with 2 things the coaching staff said for Colorado. I heard the offense coordinator, he was like, I'm gonna call plays. We should have scored 50 points. I'm not gonna change my play calling. No, that ain't right, coach. That's not right, coach. I'm not gonna change my play calling. No, when you up, you got to kind of change your play calling to protect your lead. Tom Brady did it the best, and that's why he won the winningest. He's the winningest player all time because he knew how to manage the clock and run the ball and get your team out of Dodge. It ain't about running the scoreboard up. I told y'all it's about flash for them. He's trying to run the scoreboard up. Running the scoreboard up don't teach you how to win games. They get you style points. You got to learn how to win games. And he refused to change because he wanted to put up a bunch of points. It's not about points, it's about winning. And when you down, you got to go and do desperation stuff. When you winning, you can be a little bit more conservative. Don't completely throttle down, but be a little bit more conservative. And like I saw the stats for that game. So Colorado had all them points in the first half, and we had the lead going into the second half. But guess who won in time of possession? Stanford. Stanford won with time of possession. So that lets you know our offense was not balanced. We was not trying to preserve the clock. We should have killed them in time of possession. If we would have done that, we would have won the game. So I don't agree with that coach said. And somebody else was like, the coach, the defense coordinator, he can call any play. Y'all got to execute. Y'all got to execute. Y'all got to execute. I'm like, bro, I hear what you're saying, but if you see if Michael Irvin, he talked about this. He was like how DM, when they played against them when he was at San Francisco, he didn't stick Michael Irvin every play like they thought he was. He went and played the number 2 wide receiver where they could double team Michael Irvin. Because the number 2 wide receiver was good. So if DM is on Michael Irvin, they just going to throw to the number 2. So DM, when they got the number 2, they double teamed Michael Irvin, and they made San Francisco, they made Dallas have to throw their number 3 wide receiver. So they eliminated their 2 best receivers and made Dallas throw to their number 3 wide receiver. And that's what Colorado got to do. If you got a guy that start to beat y'all to death, you got to take him out of the game. You can't say, we just going to be stubborn and we're going to run and stuff and y'all players step up. You got to make it work. At some point, you got to realize, okay, what we doing ain't working. We got to change it up. We got to help our players out. We got to help our players out. And for what I'm seeing with both of them coaches, they want to be stubborn and say, no, we're going to do it like this. Stop complaining. Man up. We're going to do it like this. Now, you got superior athletes all around on your team, like Alabama or Georgia, maybe you can do that. But when you just trying to piece together a team and y'all don't have no solid all-around team, you can't just say, we going to do just this and we ain't changing nothing. No, you going to lose like that. And you saw what happened. We lost. You can't do that. Let me see. Yeah, they can't run no power play with Dillon. And I've been saying that he a down back. And I don't understand that. With all them NFL guys on coaches on that staff, why they don't understand that Dillon is a third down back. That's what he's going to be in the NFL. He's not going to be an every down back in the NFL. So don't make him be an every down back now. You giving the man a false reality. That's what if he make it to the league, he's going to be a special team guy and a third down guy. But there was some other stuff I want to talk to y'all about, man. But who y'all think gonna have the best record at the end of the year? JSU, Colorado, or Eddie George team, Tennessee State. Who do y'all think will end up having the best record? Coach Prime, they had to rush the gauntlet. I feel like JSU has the easiest path, and they had the best team. They had the most talented team. I don't really know what Eddie George got. And to think about what Eddie George got going on over there, I'm going to tell y'all why. Another reason why Eddie George, their school could become a power. Watch my footwork now. Their school is not in the HBCU. It's not in the HBCU conference. It's like in a normal, I don't know the name of the conference, but it's in a conference with different schools. Like they play against a lot of, not no Power Fives, but like pretty much white schools, right? So if Eddie George can end up, he should be able to recruit better because the atmosphere at his school, the band, all this kind of stuff, the pet rallies, the parties, the frats, all that. I know the school I went to, we didn't even have Qs on the campus. So if you want to be a Q dog, you wouldn't even come to our school. So Eddie George should be able to out-recruit everybody in his conference for the top athletes or the mid-tier athletes, right? And he's going to start getting good payouts because he's going against these other schools that got decent stadiums, all this kind of stuff. And they should be on TV more, all that. So he should end up bringing in more revenue faster. Understand me. If Eddie George do what Coach Prime did at Jackson, he's going to start making a lot of money. And he's going to become a power. Vanderbilt is not a big draw in college football. If he starts to pile up some good players, if he end up landing like 2 or 3, 4 stars, if he gets 2 or 3, 4, even transfers, whatever, if he gets some guys to come and play and put up some big time highlights, and the people start catching on, Eddie George can turn that school into a power because he's not stuck in that HBCU mindset. They school already starting to progress. You remember when Deion started winning at Jackson, they were saying, is Jackson gonna leave the SWAC and go to another Eddie George school is already left. They already out there. They already in a position. If he win like 2 or 3 titles, he can move up to another conference. They might move to the ACC. To the Sun Belt. They can move up. So Eddie George is in a good position. And I just feel like he need to be a little louder, man. He need to be a little louder. Let me see. Colorado 4-8. You think they're gonna go 4-8? You think Tennessee State gonna be 6-6? I don't know about 6-6. They got a run game now. But I could see that. I could see Jackson going 7-4 because the back end of their schedule is not that tough. I just wish they would move on from that quarterback. If you're not gonna win the SWAC title, what they playing this quarterback for? He's not showing where he can dominate games. He's gonna be gone next year. Why you won't move? Like, just go to your next guy who's gonna be there next year, so you can go ahead and learn and see, can he be your guy moving forward? But yeah. But hey, y'all, I'm about to jump off here. I've been on for 22 minutes. I was just planning to do 15 minutes. I got some more stuff coming for y'all down the line. Oh, and I'm talking about some NFL stuff too. We'll do that tomorrow. It's some NFL games. If y'all didn't watch, y'all need to watch, and some highlights and stuff. That was some big time. If you're a real football fan, it made me feel real good. So we'll talk about that tomorrow, and we'll get on this recruiting and all this kind of stuff later on at the end of the week. But y'all be good, man.